Hi, I'm Owen Sweeney, and in this video, we're going to talk about source analysis, looking into the sources of content that you find online or that is sent to you. So, why do we need to know who is behind a piece of content or information online? Well, there may be several reasons. First of all, if you are actually in media and you intend to use that content for something, you need to get permission from the original owner. Also, in terms of verifying information, it can be very helpful to know who actually captured something so that you can possibly question them, you can ascertain their location and other details. And equally important is knowing why somebody has put something online. Do they have an agenda or do they have an axe to grind? And knowing who the person was and knowing as much as you can about them can help you evaluate their motivation and guess whether there were particular reasons why they posted something. Very often, it's pretty obvious when something is not from an original source. I think we've all seen channels like this where there's just such a huge variety of things on them that this could not possibly be from one person's life. These channels will very often have exhortations to like, to share with your friends and family, to subscribe to the channel, and these all point to a particular motivation. It's the first one we mentioned here. Is there an obvious financial motivation to something being posted? Because once you introduce money into the equation, there is a temptation to mislead and to perhaps behave in ways that you otherwise would not. Also, then compare the content. Is there internal consistency? So, does somebody have, for example, videos all from one location and then suddenly something from an entirely different part of the world? And is there any reason to believe this person has suddenly moved or have they just taken that video from elsewhere? Then look for corroboration because if something really dramatic happens, you're not going to see just one person on the entire internet mentioning it. And then check for other online accounts. Now, we'll go into that in a little bit more detail and I will explain why it's helpful. So, I think it's common, everyone can understand that very few people have just a single online presence. Most people are on multiple platforms. In this case, this is a Thai fashion and lifestyle blogger, and you can see here that she's on Instagram, she's on Twitter, on Facebook, on Pinterest, on I believe that's YouTube, TikTok. She's got a blog as well. And on Vimeo, despite having no content on there, there is still some details. Now, the point of this is that people tend to put little different snippets of information about themselves on their different accounts. So, the more accounts you can find, the more rich a picture of that person you can build up, and the more about them you can find out. When you are looking for this kind of information on people, the best thing to do is be stubborn about it, keep looking, keep trying different things, and be creative and imaginative. So, for example, never forget to check the actual about sections, the profile and biography sections of the websites and platforms. People often forget this, and very often it is where you will find more information. In this case, you can see if you go to the About tab of this guy, you can get his email address, which was not visible on the original channel homepage. Then do things like using search engines to search for people's names or their usernames, their nicknames, and variations on these as well. There are tools that will help you to do this as a shortcut. And later in these lessons and workshops, we will introduce other things that will help you to find efficiencies and shortcuts. Don't forget to check comments and descriptions because very often people will maybe not have given out the information originally on their profile, but if they're approached or asked about something, there's a strong chance that they may answer in a description or a comment. And you can see here this person has volunteered their phone number suddenly. Don't forget to reverse image search photos. Reverse image search is a very easy thing to learn and an easy thing to do. And the point here, of course, is that people will often use the same avatar or the same background image across multiple accounts. So if you reverse image search their photos from one account, there is quite a possibility that you may be able to find others. Then look through other images and videos on the accounts because people will very often have lots of content. And the more you can look through photos, videos, and so on, the more possibility you may be able to find something like mentions of where they work, where they go to school, and some organization that they're part of, or even see pictures of them with clothing, uniforms, or objects that suggest these things. Here you can see a picture of this guy who was involved in the storming of the United States Capitol in Washington, D.C., who managed to wear his work lanyard while involved in a demonstration. Which is probably not a great idea for him, but very helpful for people like us who are looking to find more information. So here's a challenge. There's a photograph here, and I want you to try to find the phone number of the person who posted this photograph. Again, don't stop at one click. Keep looking, keep following links, keep trying to find out different places where this person is available, and the phone number will come up eventually. There's a link here to the photo. When you do find it, please explain your solution clearly. And here's where you can submit the answer. Again, use the short link or the QR code. And if you have any questions, as always, you can contact the organizers or you can contact me and I'll try to get back to you as quickly as possible. Thank you very much.